fishing, and we're going to season the brand new baby up here in just a few minutes. I'll lock the wheels. Hi, I'm Wade. We're going to go through just how to season up a brand new Stumps. We got this in the other day. We've uncrated it, put on the wheels, and pop her open. You'll see a deflector plate, which is nice, keeps any grease from dropping down in front of the smoker there and getting on that gasket. Here's your rack. There's a nice tilted deflector pan for the grease. Grease hits that, comes down through the hole into your removable pan. That's one thing that on our older Stumps we have. It doesn't have that, but we've really never had a problem, but that's a good little feature to have. So this thing's got 4 racks in here. What we're going to do is we're going to clean it up real quick, vacuum it out, wipe it out, and then we're going to spray vegetable oil on it, and then fire it up and let it sit for a couple hours at 300 degrees. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I got a shop vac here, and I'm going to shop vac out the inside, make sure there's no steel shavings around. I have a rag, I'll wipe that out, but I'm going to vacuum it as good as I can on all these racks, the inside, get the grease pan. I'll get the firebox bottom too over here. All right, I'm going to take this old rag I have here and just give it a quick wipe down. Kind of gets any of that shop dust out of there, anything that may be in there. What I'm going to do now is I've just bought some pure vegetable oil. Got a spray bottle. Fill that up. Bartender style. What I want to do is I want to coat the entire inside of that chamber along with those racks with a good dousing of vegetable oil. That looks good there. I'm going to go for the inside, get the ceiling, just everywhere in there. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just do each rack the same way. Coat that thing with oil. Alright, so now that we've got it all oiled up, we're ready to load it up with charcoal, fire it up, throw some wood in, and let it go for a couple hours. Before we do that, let's just look at the model, because if you wanted to have a good smoker for your backyard and just smoke for the fun of it, impress your friends, that baby is the ticket right there. We're going to use it as a secondary smoker along with our GF 222 Stumps, and have 2 smokers. That way we can use this at a higher temperature, different wood than what we would on the other one. So I'm going to load it up with charcoal now. We'll fire it up and get seasoned. I'm going to use some Royal Oak briquettes, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in there. There's a couple different ways to light the charcoal. You could light it in a chimney, get a whole bunch of briquettes going, pour those in, then pour your unlit on top. I used to do it that way. I know that's the way it's in the Stumps document. What I kind of like to do is I'm going to take just a small propane torch, put it up at the grate until that charcoal gets going. I just personally, I like this method better. So I'm just putting the torch to those charcoals and go give them a minute or two. For the seasoning, I'm not going to use the Guru or the Stoker unit. I'm just going to vary the temperature with the ball valve. But
ready.
Okay, so I'm happy with the way the charcoal is lit. I'm going to take out the torch at this point. Going to make sure you latch the firebox door, and I'm going to open the ball valve all the way. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to watch the temperature on here, and maybe in about 45 minutes as it approaches 200, I'm going to knock this down halfway. And then I'm just going to monitor and try and keep it around 300 degrees for a few hours while it seasons.
Go.
Okay folks, it's been about 1 hour since we fired it up, and we've had the ball valve wide open. Looks like we're about 175, so I'm gonna crank it down just halfway at this point because I have something I need to do for just a little bit. So I'm gonna close it about halfway, and we'll come back in a half an hour, 45 minutes, and see if it's not close to 300. If you were using a power draft controller, you'd probably be at that 300 degrees by now with no problem. Even the dogs enjoy the Stumps Smoker. She's waiting for grease drippage. So it's been roughly maybe an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, and we're real close to 300, so we're just going to let it sit there for a couple hours, and we'll keep putting a wood chunk in maybe once every 45 minutes, season it up. One thing you will notice is the inside is starting to turn brown. I'm going to go ahead and open the door, and we'll take a peek in there. And you can see it's starting to get that darker patina about it, I guess you would call it. Close it back up. We're going to go ahead and put the legs on after they're rubbed. Put them on the Stumps baby at 300 degrees. We think it'd take about an hour, hour 15, maybe an hour and a half till the drumsticks measure about 175 degrees when we throw a little rub on them, get them coated well all around, and then we'll go out and put them on to the Stumps baby. Okay, we pretty much consider our seasoning process done. It's been at 300 degrees for a couple hours. Now we're going to go ahead and put our chicken legs on. You'll probably notice when we open it that the inside's not that bright silver anymore. Probably has a nice darker color to it, which it does. I have some tongs here, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put all the chicken on one rack. I may end up putting it on 2 racks, and we'll see how it does. And then I have 1 chunk of apple that I'm going to add. Be amazed, but I think just 1 chunk of wood's going to be pretty much enough to do this chicken. So there's 8 pieces right on that rack, and I'm going to go ahead and use the rack above it. Put down a few more pieces. And usually the Stumps holds a real good temperature across the smoker, and you may find down near the firebox it may be a little bit warmer, but once you cook on it long enough, you'll learn to use that to your advantage in case you need something to speed up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. I'm going to close the smoker back up. Take a chunk of apple, add it to the firebox. Well, it's been about 45 minutes since we put the chicken on, and the temp's been running right about 270 degrees during the whole time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up, look at the chicken, and take the temperature. Oh, they're looking pretty. I'm just going to go in there. That one's registered. That one's about 162. We're looking for a final temperature, maybe about 175. That one's about 166. Boy, I tell you, that chicken is just looking killer, and this is just the first thing off this baby. Okay, now we've given it another 10 minutes, and the total time's been about an hour and 5 minutes on the chicken, and we're going to pull it and enjoy it now.